Hi everybody, here we have the Kyosho Mini Z MR-03 model. Should be the Porsche 911 GT3. As you can see, it's a pretty cool looking car. It's, just get the camera right so you can see it. So pretty well detailed. The decals are nice and crisp. And this has already had 2 races on the track, but I like to keep it nice and clean. You know, look after your car and it'll look after you. Just turn it around. One thing I did notice with this though is that the chrome tailpipes do tend to fall off. Because my mate in his Corvette there decided to shunt me up the rear end and it knocked this pipe here off, but just fixed it with a bit of glue and it's right as rain. Underneath, this is the RM version, so you've got the motor mounted there right over the back of the wheels. The only design flaw I can find with this model is the fact that if you do get hit up the back, the resistors and bits and pieces on the motor are quite exposed, so you could sort of have problems with that getting knocked off. I mean, I highly doubt it, but that's the only sort of flaw I found in the design. I mean, you could, I guess, make a cover for it, but other than that, it's pretty robust. Got the ID tag on there. £15 that cost. Absolute nightmare. It's a really expensive hobby, but it's good fun. And the cars are really quick, and they last about sort of an hour and a half on a good charge. So you'd be laughing there really. You can get different tyres, different gears, different motors. This one has individual suspension on the front, solid on the rear, adjustable track length. You can have wide or narrow steering. This one's got the narrow setup on a minute. As you can probably see, the wheels don't quite fill the arches, but it allows it to turn a lot sharper on a really twisty course. Yeah, so yeah, there you have it. Kyosho Mini Z MR-03. I mean, we raced these the other day with an MR-02, and they're so much quieter. You got the brushless motor, which is a lot quieter than the MR-02. Speed-wise, not a lot of difference. We tend to race on the slower speed because you get a lot more close racing, and a bit more sort of tactical sort of manoeuvres going on. But yeah, on the slow speed, to be honest, these have got a little bit more agility in the corners, a bit more sort of well planted to the road. But in a straight line, the MR-02s and the 03s are sort of almost on a par. You can race them quite happily together, but up to you, really. That's your decision. But you can customize the 03s a lot better than you can the 02s, because obviously they've got different suspension settings, and you can put gyros on this one. You probably can with the 02s, but it's not as easy. Whereas the 03 chassis has got a plinth already set up for the gyro to be put on, so it's a lot easier to install. But other than that, that's it. I mean, we'll have a quick look at Chris's Corvette. This is the C5R Corvette. I don't know a lot about his one because that's his car, but I know he's raced it with me a few times. We were racing the other day and they're pretty even. He's got the wide suspension setup on the front there, wide steering angle, as you can see. And his is quite good around the corners, but it's not as agile. but it is more stable going along the straights because obviously it's got a footprint, so it doesn't wobble about so much. But other than that, they're pretty spot on, really. They're quite even. I mean, I like the look of his. I mean, here, you look. This is the amount of dirt you get after 2 races. It's absolutely filthy. He needs to wash it, dirty bugger. There's a lot of dust in there, and that's one thing you really need to keep on top of. I mean, that's just under 2 hours of racing, and that's all appeared. I mean, it's quite cool because it's almost like realistic, because you get the dirt that obviously when you race a real car, and you sort of get the same sort of splash back up the back end of it like you do with a real one. But yeah, you need to keep on top of it because otherwise it'll get inside the motor. Because there's a couple of little vent ports on the motor there for heat. Or it'll get in. It'll just get in, and it'll just start to sort of clog up. And and obviously dust creates friction, which also creates heat on your gears and stuff. So you don't want to be running it with all that dust in there because it creates drag, so it slows you down. But yeah, other than that, guys, thanks for watching, and I mean, this is my first video, so apologies for it being completely gash, but I'll hopefully have some more bits and pieces to chat about later, but enjoy.